2018 Rolls-Royce Phantom car review. There are numerous attractions to like a billionaire. You could open a non-public zoo, commission statues depicting yourself as various historical figures striking heroic poses, or, if you would like to go full Blofeld, hollow out of the private island to cover a moon-melting death ray. Alternatively, you can forget such fripperies and buy a Rolls-Royce Phantom. The good points of 2018 Rolls-Royce Phantom: supremely quiet, artfully crafted interior, impressive curbside presence, serene demeanor. The bad points of 2018 Rolls-Royce Phantom: all how over the top. You must be an actual billionaire to pay for one, but you ought to be somewhere toward the top of the 1%. Rolls-Royce CEO Torsten Müller says that owners will almost exclusively be ultra-high net worth individuals, people with more than $30 million in cash and liquid assets. While the standard Phantom won't be priced significantly higher than the outgoing version, figure around $450,000, it will likely be possible to over double that over the sort of personalization that Rolls encourages its buyers to take pleasure in, for example installing commissioned art within the dashboard or color matching the outer to the exact shade on the sunset behind your beach house inside the Maldives. This is often a car for folks who don't care what it really costs. The architecture of luxury. The first Rolls-Royce Phantom was produced so long ago as 1925, plus the company claims how the nameplate would be the longest serving inside automotive industry. While that's true, there are long gaps between some on the earlier generations. Regardless, this all-new 8th generation model we're inspired to refer to it as Phantom 8 inside style of any Monarch or even a Star Wars sequel directly replaces the 2003-era Phantom VII, which has been the first Rolls-Royce developed under BMW ownership. The Phantom 8 may be the first car to take a seat on Rolls-Royce's new aluminum space frame platform, officially the architecture of luxury, that could underpin all future models such as the upcoming Project Cullinan SUV. The exterior design has undergone a less revolutionary transformation when compared to the outgoing model, gaining more curves along with a radiator grille that integrates to the front with the car much better than the last Phantom's freestanding chrome Parthenon. But despite some modest decline in exterior dimensions, the Phantom 8 has lost none in the 7's capability to shock and awe, especially in some with the snazzy two-tone paint finishes that Rolls-Royce chose for your cars used with the media launch in Switzerland. Courtesy extended. As you'd expect, our Phantom experience began from the back seat associated with an extended wheelbase model. While Müller says that 8 beyond 10 Phantom owners will drive themselves at the very least occasionally, which U.S. buyers include the most likely for taking wheel, the extended wheelbase EWB model, 8.6 inches over the regular car, will probably be piloted by the chauffeur. And not a robotic one, either. Ingress remains made by using a rear-hinged coach door in Rolls speak, the unpleasant connotations on the more usual suicide reference thus being deftly avoided, and also the rear cabin is also as special as you'd expect. The carpet pile is ankle-deep, the adjustable seats give you a variety of massages, and there's a refrigerator mounted from the center console complete using a clip-in decanter. Sadly, the very last item proved empty during our ride. The interior feels very traditional, having a predictable abundance of wood and leather and old-fashioned rotary heating controls in lieu of digital displays, red for hotter, blue for colder. But there's a good amount of well-disguised 21st century tech, too, apparently one in the key demands from buyers in the old car. Display screens motor down from your backs on the front seats to sit across the traditional wooden picnic tables, while USB and HDMI ports hide beneath a slide-down cover. The infotainment product is a thinly disguised version of BMW's iDrive system that is certainly operated by the similar turn-and-click controller. Touch-sensitive screens will be a little too vulgar, plus they get so smeary. The rear seat also offers a good view from the dashboard, which incorporates the gallery, a glass panel spanning the dashboard, behind which owners will surely have their own personally commissioned artworks placed once the car was made. The instrument cluster plus the infotainment screen will also be placed behind the glass. Rolls-Royce is satisfied to connect buyers with artists employed in everything from traditional oil paints to avant-garde ceramics, and Muller-Advos says it's feasible that a well-chosen-piece by an up-and-coming talent might ultimately be worth over the car surrounding it. Setting off is something of the anticlimax. The Phantom is a fantastic place to spending some time, but locomotion adds little sensation at night, fact which the view of gawping mortals over the windows actually starts to scroll. That's as the Phantom is freakishly quiet, with one from the engineering team's core objectives being so it will be the most silent passenger car within the world. In that, they succeeded. When you have tinnitus, a gentle cruise within the back on the Phantom won't create enough background noise to mask it. Rolls-Royce has fitted about 287 pounds of sound insulation material, plus double-glazed windows and tires containing noise-absorbing foam, with all the result as being a claimed 5 decibel decrease in volume over its awachi quiet predecessor. The decibel scale is logarithmic, to ensure modest number reflects a 75% decrease in perceived noise. No unseemly slouching. Switching on the driver's seat immediately emphasizes exactly how tall the Phantom is, an impact exacerbated by its high windowsills. Motoring the seat with a position which gives a good view forwards for the distant edge in the hood, as well as a chance to ogle the proffered backside from the spirit of ecstasy, puts the eyes close to where they'd have a full-size SUV. The steering column is short on adjustment for rake, encouraging an arms-out, chauffeur-like driving position instead of an unseemly slouch, as well as the seats definitely would be the sort you sit on as opposed to in. Progress is just as stately to be a Palladian villa and 400 acres of English parkland. The new twin-turbocharged 6.7-liter V12 can be a development with the engine inside lesser Rolls-Royce Ghost, producing exactly the same 563 horsepower but tuned to supply a meteor 664 lb-ft of torque made available from just 1,700 revolutions per minute. Under gentle throttle applications, it's possible to feel the briefest of pauses because the turbos and engine internals gather momentum, but beyond so it pulls cleanly and almost silently. If any manufacturer is watchy for seamless conversion to electrification, it really is Rolls-Royce. Unsurprisingly, the Phantom continues to be tuned to produce its best under mild use, featuring its ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox designed to keep the engine under 2,500 revolutions per minute whenever it could possibly. Even with this limitation, quarter throttle acceleration feels respectably brisk. Nonetheless, it takes a hefty shove around the long travel pedal to prompt a kickdown and obtain the V12 producing its screamiest noises on the bow. While Rolls-Royce claims a 5.1 second 0 to 60 mph time with the short wheelbase model, verifying that in anything apart from a kidnap hinge evasion scenario would have you repaid to chauffeur school or possibly wrapped within the back on the head using a gold-headed cane. Ride quality is exceptional, thanks in large part to your Phantom's not enough any kind of sporting intent. The combination of relatively soft air springs along with a 5,600+ pound curb weight should spark a convincing impression of the 1970s Cadillac. Yet some very smart adaptive dampers in conjunction with an optical bump spotting system that actually works at speeds up to 60 miles per hour give outstanding body control and maintain cabin serene, even in the roughest surfaces the Swiss Alps could add our way. There is all clever dynamic technology, Nevertheless, it all functions while using invisible efficiency of an excellent valet. Active anti-roll bars with electric motors fight lean under-cornering. Rolls-Royce claims these produce as often to work with 12-volt motors as rivals manage because of their 48-volt systems. The Phantom might be hustled along for a rapid pace, although at the cost of considerable sliding about the nearly flat seats. The electrically assisted steering is lightly weighted and lacks feel, but accurate front-end responses ensure it is easy to place the auto onto a chosen line, and there's a new rear-wheel steering system that improves low-speed maneuverability. There are no dynamic settings or sport modes or in whatever way to manually select gears. However, the transmission stock for the steering column contains a low button created to maximize engine braking in relation to long, steep downgrades. Brand Manifesto. Anyone together with the funds and inclination to get a Phantom likely is going to be equally in a position to purchase any, or indeed all, of its most apparent competitors, in the Bentley Mulsanne towards the Learjet 70. These people aren't compelled to make either decisions, possessing both hands is perfectly of their reach. Wanting a Phantom is the form of which we suspect many of them is going to be keen to scratch, the vehicle being good enough to justify its enormous price. With the immodesty allowed a proud father, Muller Advos reckons that this will be the best car inside the world, and considering it being an all-rounder, it may be hard to disagree. If anyone gives you the choice of one car for that rest of your lifestyle, allow it to become a Phantom. But it's over just a snazzy ride. It's another spectacular manifesto for that future on the Rolls-Royce brand. It might be possible to develop a better luxury car than this, but don't anticipate to see one sooner.